For 3 years, the alien mother walked among humans, silently and carefully, never forcing herself into their lives, but always watching. She had come from a place far beyond human understanding, a world where her species had forgotten the simple truths of life. But Earth was different. Here she could feel something she had not sensed in centuries: hope, creativity, and a quiet strength that glimmered even in the darkest corners. She had a mission, one she had carried for countless generations. She was searching for the one. The first knock had been in a small village in France. It was late evening, the sky painted in shades of purple and gold, and an old man had been sitting on his porch staring at the fading light. The knock was soft but distinct. When he opened the door, he saw a figure, human-like but strangely calming. Her eyes were warm, and her presence carried a gentle power. He did not speak. She did not speak. She simply looked at him, studied him, and smiled. Then she left. Nothing else happened, yet the next morning his garden was thriving like never before. Word of these encounters spread slowly, mostly through rumor. No one could explain why people suddenly felt lucky, or why small, improbable events began happening after a brief, quiet encounter with a stranger. Governments noticed anomalies. Power grids stabilized in certain towns, unexplained healings occurred, but no one could prove what was causing it. The alien mother moved carefully, leaving no trace beyond her silent visits. Dr. Elias Harper had been watching. As an astrobiologist, he had spent his life looking for life beyond Earth, but never had he imagined that it could be so close. At first, he had dismissed the reports as coincidence, urban legend, or even mass hysteria, but as the years went by, patterns began to emerge. The encounters were not random. They followed humans who showed a particular combination of creativity, empathy, and resilience. The alien mother was not just knocking on doors. She was testing the human spirit. In New York City, Maya Lin lived a life that was ordinary in many ways, but extraordinary in others. She worked with children in hospitals, volunteered in disaster relief, and painted murals in neighborhoods that had lost hope. She was small, quiet, and unassuming, yet something about her drew attention in ways she could never understand. On a rainy Thursday, she returned to her apartment after a long day, soaked through but smiling at the small victories she had helped create. The knock came just as she closed her door. It was soft, insistent, and yet polite. She hesitated, then opened it, expecting perhaps a neighbor or a delivery. Standing there was a woman, tall, calm, and oddly familiar even though Maya had never met her. Her presence was strange but comforting. Maya felt no fear, only a subtle tug at her heart as though someone had just found a part of her she had lost. "Hello?" the woman said, her voice melodic, but not loud. "I am looking for someone." Maya blinked. "Someone? Who?" "What do you mean?" The woman did not answer directly. She stepped back, as if respecting boundaries, and simply studied Maya. A quiet energy filled the room, a sense of possibility, of something beyond understanding. Maya felt it deep inside, a resonance she could not explain. The encounter lasted only moments, but afterward, Maya felt lighter, as though a burden she had carried unknowingly had been lifted. Dr. Harper was already tracking these moments. He had a wall covered with photographs, notes, and locations of reported visits. He noticed the subtle patterns. The woman appeared in places where humans were struggling, yet showing sparks of hope. She never intervened violently or forcefully. She was drawn to the best aspects of humanity, the parts that were still alive in a world that often seemed to lose them. Months passed. The alien mother visited countless doors, cities, and countries. She saw humans in all conditions, some rich, some poor, some joyful, some broken. She observed their reactions: fear, curiosity, kindness, suspicion. But she never forced anyone to understand her. She waited patiently for the one who would recognize her purpose without being told. For Maya, these encounters became a quiet rhythm of her life. The woman appeared sporadically, always unannounced, always leaving without explanation. Each time Maya felt a connection that was both strange and familiar, as though the universe itself was reaching out to her. She could not explain why she looked forward to these visits, why her heart felt a tug when she heard the soft knock. She only knew that her life had been touched in ways she could not yet name. In the meantime, Dr. Harper became more determined. He began comparing notes, studying the reports, and trying to predict where the alien mother might appear next. He did not understand why she chose certain humans, but he understood that there was a pattern, one that suggested something profoundly human was at stake. One evening, in a quiet neighborhood, the alien mother paused at a row of houses. She had already visited hundreds of humans, but she sensed that she was close. Her senses, honed over millennia, told her that the one was near. She moved slowly, respectfully, stopping at each door just long enough to understand the soul within. Many of the humans she encountered were good, kind, even heroic in small ways. But she sought something more, something rare and unyielding, the spark of human potential, the ability to rise in the face of uncertainty, to create beauty from chaos. When she reached Maya's door once again, she paused longer than usual. There was a resonance, a harmony, that told her this was the human she had been searching for. This one carried within her the traits her species had lost: empathy, creativity, courage, and hope. She did not knock immediately. She waited, observing the small movements, the gentle habits that made Maya human in the truest sense. Finally, she knocked. Maya opened the door, her eyes widening slightly in recognition. She did not speak. The alien mother stepped in just enough to remain present, and for the first time, she allowed a thread of thought to pass to Maya's mind, a whisper of understanding. Not words, but meaning. "You are the one I seek," the alien mother conveyed silently. Maya's heart raced and a shiver ran down her spine. She did not understand fully, but she felt it. It was not fear. It was recognition, a knowing that her life was about to change in ways she could not yet imagine. Outside, the city continued unaware. Cars honked, people walked briskly, and life went on as usual. But inside Maya's apartment, something extraordinary was unfolding. A visitor from the stars, silent and patient, had finally found what she had been seeking for 3 long years. As the night deepened, the alien mother and Maya sat in quiet companionship. No words were needed. Each understood that a connection had been made, something profound and rare. And though the world outside would continue without notice, a bond had formed that would shape the future, not just for Maya, but for all of humanity. 3 years of searching had led to this moment, and for the first time in centuries, the alien mother allowed herself a subtle hope. Perhaps with this human she could show the universe that humanity was extraordinary, capable of greatness her own people had lost. Perhaps the one had finally been found. And as the night sky stretched endlessly beyond the windows, filled with stars and distant galaxies, something unspoken passed between them, the promise of a journey just beginning, the first step toward a story that would change the world. The days after the alien mother finally revealed herself to Maya were quiet, yet full of unspoken tension. Maya felt the presence of someone extraordinary in her life, someone whose very being seemed to ripple with knowledge and understanding beyond the human mind. She could not explain why her heart raced every time the alien mother was near, why small thoughts and ideas began forming in her head as if guided by an unseen hand. She only knew that her life, ordinary in every other way, had suddenly become extraordinary. The alien mother observed Maya closely. She had watched humans for centuries, but never before had she found one so finely attuned to the essence of what made a species thrive. Maya's kindness was genuine, her empathy unshakable, and her creativity boundless. She did not seek attention or power, yet she had the ability to inspire people simply by being herself. This was the human the alien mother had been searching for, someone whose spirit could reflect the best of humanity back to the world, and perhaps even to the stars. Maya tried to speak, but words failed her. Why me?" she asked finally, her voice trembling slightly. "Why are you here?" The alien mother did not answer immediately. She sat silently, radiating calm. Then slowly she touched the small table between them. A soft light glowed from her hand, filling the room with warmth, though no one else outside would have noticed. Images and thoughts flowed into Maya's mind, a world beyond her understanding, a species that had lost its way, and a mission that spanned millennia. "You have something that my people have forgotten," the alien mother conveyed silently. "Empathy, hope, creativity is courage. You can see beyond the immediate, beyond fear. You can rise where others falter. That is why I have sought you." Maya could not speak. She simply nodded, feeling a strange weight settle on her shoulders, heavy but not burdensome. She understood, at least in part, that her life was no longer just her own. She was part of something greater, something that had waited a very long time for her to exist. In the following weeks, Maya began to notice subtle changes in the world around her. The alien mother guided her quietly, showing her small ways to help people, to inspire them, to solve problems that had once seemed impossible. Hospitals ran more smoothly, neighborhoods flourished, and communities that had been divided found ways to work together. Maya never imposed herself. She only encouraged, guided, and shared what she had learned from the alien mother. Dr. Harper, who had been following the alien mother's movements for years, finally connected the dots. He came to meet Maya not knowing exactly what he would find. He had read every report, every rumor, every odd coincidence, but nothing prepared him for the reality. A human and an alien working together silently, shifting the balance of hope in the world. "Is this real?" he asked one evening, standing in Maya's living room as the alien mother observed quietly from a corner. "It is real," Maya said softly. "And it is not meant to frighten us. She shows us what we can be." Dr. Harper looked at the alien mother. "Why humans? Why Earth?" The alien mother finally spoke in words, her voice gentle but resonant. "My species once knew what you know now. We understood connection, creativity, courage. We lost it over centuries. We can no longer survive without it. I came to your world because humans carry the spark we have forgotten. Among you there is potential that can shape the universe." The enormity of her words sank into the room. Maya felt both fear and awe, but also determination. If she had been chosen, then she had to rise to the task. She had to be worthy of the trust placed upon her by someone who had observed millennia and found humanity exceptional. News of strange occurrences began to rise. People reported sudden recoveries, unlikely solutions to local problems, and small miracles in cities across the world. The media struggled to explain it. Scientists argued over probability. Governments investigated, but none could prove anything. The alien mother moved quietly, always observing, always guiding, always staying one step ahead of panic and misunderstanding. Maya realized that her life had changed completely. She now had a mission, though it was not one of conquest or control. Her role was to help humans see themselves as more than they thought they could be, to awaken the qualities that the alien mother had found in her, and in doing so awaken them in others. One night, a massive storm struck the coast, threatening towns and cities with floods and winds stronger than anyone had seen. Emergency services scrambled. Maya felt the familiar tug, the silent urging of the alien mother. Together they worked. Maya coordinated volunteers, guided evacuations, and helped communities organize themselves in ways she had never imagined. And as she worked, the alien mother quietly enhanced subtle possibilities around her. Mechanical failures resolved themselves, roads cleared automatically, and small but critical moments of human action succeeded where they had once failed. When the storm passed, the damage was far less than expected. Lives were saved. Communities stood stronger. People did not know why things had turned out so well, but somewhere deep inside they felt that the world had shifted, that they had been part of something larger. Maya stood at the center, exhausted but glowing with a sense of fulfillment she had never known. Dr. Harper arrived just as the clouds cleared. He looked at Maya and the alien mother. "I don't understand how this happened," he said, "but I know it did. Something extraordinary guided you." The alien mother smiled faintly, a quiet satisfaction in her gaze. "Humans are extraordinary. They only need someone to help them see it." Maya felt the truth of her words in her bones. She realized that the alien mother had not come to Earth to conquer, to change, or to dominate. She had come to observe, to select, and to teach. And in the process, humanity had been tested and had shown its worth. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Maya continued her work, guided by the quiet presence of the alien mother, who now stayed at a respectful distance, intervening only when necessary. Communities grew stronger, creative projects flourished, and humans began to notice subtle changes in themselves. They were thinking bigger, helping more, imagining possibilities they had once thought impossible. The alien mother finally spoke one evening, as Maya watched the sunset from her rooftop. "My mission is complete," she said softly. "I have found the one, but more importantly, I have seen the potential of your species. You carry what my people have lost. I have shown you the path, but you must continue it yourselves." Maya felt both pride and sorrow. She had grown to admire and trust this being from another world. The thought of losing her presence was heavy. But she also understood that this was not an ending. The alien mother's guidance had been a spark. Now it was humanity's turn to carry the flame. The next morning, the alien mother disappeared. No one saw her leave. There were no signs, no messages, no clues, only a quiet presence that lingered in the hearts of those she had touched, especially Maya. People continued their lives, but something had shifted. Humans were thinking differently, acting differently, seeing their own potential in ways they had never imagined. Maya returned to her daily life, volunteering, painting, helping children. But now she carried a new purpose. She knew that she was part of something greater, a living reminder that humanity could rise above fear, ignorance, and doubt. She worked quietly, inspiring others, teaching what she had learned, and guiding those who were ready to see their own potential. Dr. Harper continued his observations, documenting patterns, studying the changes, and slowly realizing that the alien mother had not just visited Earth. She had planted the seeds of transformation. Humanity had survived countless crises, but now, with subtle guidance, it had been shown what it could truly be. Years passed. Maya grew older, but her spirit remained vibrant. Children who had watched her work learned to see the world differently. Communities that had been divided found ways to unite. Humans began thinking about exploration, collaboration, and creation in ways that went beyond survival. The spark of extraordinary potential had been lit, and it spread quietly but steadily across the planet. And somewhere beyond the stars, the alien mother watched, silently proud. Her mission had been fulfilled, but she did not need to interfere further. Humanity had proven itself. It was capable of rising above its limitations, capable of greatness, capable of hope. The universe was vast, and humanity had only just begun to see its place within it. Maya looked up at the night sky, feeling a quiet connection, a sense of possibility, and a profound understanding that the extraordinary was not only out there among the stars but also within her species. And somewhere deep inside, she knew that the journey was only beginning. Humans had been chosen not for power, not for domination, but for potential, and now with quiet courage they would rise to meet it.